Well, hi guys, this is Ian from SS Cars. We're on our way down to Swindon to review my new 458 Speciale, which is at Dick Lovett at the moment. We've just had the Topaz film protection put on the car, and we're going down to check on it a couple of weeks before we take delivery. We stopped off here at Castle Combe, as you can see, which is a beautiful old building set in the middle of the Castle Combe village, which is in Wiltshire. And on one of my other videos I talk a little bit about the hotel and Castle Combe itself. But it is really exciting, a fantastically exciting day. I have been down to Dick Lovett before to test drive the car, but I haven't seen it in almost a month now. So we're about to get in the car. We had a bit of lunch and we're about to get in the car to head up to Swindon. And we'll continue this video once we get there. Thanks guys. So I'm very excited today. We've actually come down to Dick Lovett in Swindon to have a look at my new Ferrari. Wow, that is exciting. It was quite a long journey down, and we'll show you a little bit about how exciting the trip was later, but let's go over and have a look. So today we're at Dick Lovett in Swindon, come down here specially because we're in the process of buying the Speciale, the Ferrari 458 Speciale, which we ordered about 6 weeks ago. It's arrived, it's had preparation by Topaz, putting on a protection film, and that was finished on Tuesday. And now we've come down to have a look at it and just see if there are any other little bits that need dealing with before we collect it in 10 days time or so. It is not brand new to us. Sorry, it's going to be brand new to us, but it's not a brand new car. It's done just under 3,000 miles, but it's absolutely immaculate, and it is so exciting to be standing by it and looking at it really for only the second time. The first time was about 6 weeks ago when I came down and I had a drive of it, and it is such an exciting car to drive. You know, they're just so electrifying to drive. I mean, the steering is unbelievably direct, the suspension is firm but not uncomfortable. There's almost no roll, and it's just a lovely place to sit in, as well as we'll take you around the car and show you a little bit about it. But it just is an immensely exciting car to now own. Dick Lovett, as you probably know, are one of the main Ferrari dealers, based down in Swindon. They have a number of different dealerships, but they've been with Ferrari for many, many, many years. And they have a great selection of cars. And they very kindly agreed for me to come down today and take a first film of the car. So shall I take you around it, since my friend Christopher behind the camera is concentrating on the back. We might start here. As you can see, to accommodate the new diffuser, we've lost the three, and this is comparing with the 458, we've lost the complex of three exhausts in the middle to channel the air through the diffuser properly. They've put the slightly bigger exhaust either side of the central diffuser. Now, this particular car has active aerodynamics. Now, what I mean by active aerodynamics is the airflow through the car when it's travelling at speed. So you can probably see here the three red bits underneath the diffuser. These actually open at speed to channel the air. I think it's 120 miles an hour they open. So in theory in the UK they won't open at all, but they open to provide extra stability and downforce at the back of the car. Then you can see also you have the iconic Ferrari grille at the back, which is for all the sport models. You probably know that the Speciale is really one of a number of sports models that they've evolved from each range. So with the 360 you had the Challenge Stradale, and then with the 430 you had the Scuderia, and then this is the 458 Speciale. Although they weren't actually made in limited numbers, the production line in itself sort of limits the number of cars. I think this was in production for about 12 to 18 months. So we think there are probably about 1,500 of them made. I mean, Ferrari tend to be quite careful about talking about statistics in this way, but that's what we've been told, and we've ascertained from the number of cars that, or where the production line was allocated specifically to the Speciale. So it's a completely different design. I've talked about the exhaust and the diffuser and the aero flaps at the bottom. You can also see that there's a spoiler. The 458 comes straight across at the back. There's no lip, whereas this is very specifically has a lip with the integral brake light, which is incorporated within the rear. And then interestingly enough, you can see there's large airflows, a bit like the 458. I think they're slightly modified, not sure about that. You have the airflows at the back, and then following that on to the front, the front design of the front bonnet is completely new. So we have the two huge air intakes at the front. The 458 bonnet, as you probably know, is flat. And then you have the beautiful tricolore stripe that actually runs. What I love about this is it's completely flat. That's actually been painted on the car. Now, because of the Topaz film protection, obviously you'd expect it to be nice and smooth across the top, but you can actually see there is no differentiation between the layers here at all. And I love the way this is the blue knot tricolore. So from the American racing team, the white, the blue and the white. I just think, you know, it's difficult to overemphasize how fantastic it looks. Certainly very striking. I don't think you'd miss it, but on the other hand, remember, this is effectively meant to be a race car. So again, you have more air intakes here at the side, on the other side of the lights. You have the air intakes round the side here to channel the flow. And then you've got more active air intakes here. So if you look next to the prancing horse, you can see these two grey panels here. They're again active aerodynamics, and at a certain speed they open to allow the air through. And then actually, once you get above a certain speed, I understand they close again, because it's more efficient to channel the air around the side rather than take it through the middle. But I have to say, I think it's a very purposeful looking front end of the car. And then at the side, I think the wing mirrors are standard. At the side you can see behind the doors, so down at the sills you can see you have the fin, which is totally unique to the Speciale. Again for channeling air, so the air runs smoothly down the edges and provides side force to make sure the car stays in a straight line at speed. The alloys are very, very specifically, they're very light. I think considerably lighter than the standard 458, and they're unique to the car. And then what I love is the view of the engine through the glass panel at the back, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. You can see the carbon fibre covers for the engine. We'll do a more detailed review when we pick the car up, and I'll lift all the panels up to show you exactly what the engine looks inside. But there's another carbon fibre piece back here. I think that really does look absolutely tremendous, and everything's very lightweight. The glass on the Speciale, it is half the weight and thickness of the glass on the regular Ferrari models, including the 458. Still glass then. I just think it's absolutely astronomical. I mean, the car produces 610 brake horse, so that's 40 up on the 458, and it's 100 kilos lighter overall through specific measures like the wheels and different suspension parts they use. Totally clothed in aluminium, but that is as the 458 is. Okay, shall we have a quick look inside? And then, remember, today is just meant to be a little bit of a feel. It is very, very driver-centric inside, as you can see. The doors are made of carbon fibre with the top parts being covered in Alcantara, but it's completely exposed, very, very light, as you can maybe hear from my tapping. And then again, even carpets are wrapped. Very basic inside, but totally driver focused. And as you can see, the instrumentational panels around the vents, they're all carbon fibre, and I personally think they look really great. I like that sort of thing. The iconic Ferrari steering wheel with the carbon fibre top with the shift lights incorporated inside the steering wheel, which allows you to know when you're getting to the top end of the revs. One of the things about these cars is they accelerate so ferociously. When you're driving them, you really don't have time to focus on anything but the road. So, which is why you have the lights incorporated with the steering wheel to let you. There are 5 of them. When you're up at the 5th, you're getting close to the 9,000 rev limit. 9,000 revs. Then again, you can see, probably not right at the second, but I'll show you. Oh yes, you can. You can see that they're carbon fibre sports seats. So they're carbon fibre base, very light. And as a consequence of that, I think they look beautiful. I love that. Full racing harness. Chris can get the camera. Full racing harness, and I think that's exceptional as well. Somehow, I think in a normal car that would probably annoy me. In this particular car, I think it's absolutely correct, because of course we're going to go on race days with this car. So, and we'll be reporting back to you. But I think on a race circuit, a full racing harness is a good idea. And then everything else really inside, as you can probably see, other than the roof and the centre of the seats, is Alcantara. So it's effectively suede. So it has a really focused view. And then we go round to the driver's side. This is a left-hand drive car, as you probably noticed, or maybe I said earlier. Actually, it was worth just showing you. It just shows you how much detail they put into these cars. You can see there's even air intakes behind the 3/4 windows, if these are 3/4 windows. So basically, if I get into it, I won't put the seatbelts on. If I get into it, I have to work at getting into it without actually having. There we go. Again, there are the 5 lights that come up here. You can see it's a full carbon fibre console. The rev counter's right in front of you, and then you have the iconic steering wheel with everything on it. So at the moment you can see that the Manettino is turned to, the Manettino controls the settings of the car. So basically you've got the wet, then you've got sport. Clearly the car has been used today, so it's set in the wet, but you've got sport, and then you have race, and then you have all your electronic systems that you can basically turn off. So you have your traction control, systems up here that when you're racing, if you want to be able to have some control, electronic control, which I mean for somebody of my standard of driving, I would benefit from having that. If you give it to a racing driver, they turn them all off. There are some fantastic electronic systems in this car, which we'll get into in much more detail when Chris does his next technical lowdown, briefing on the electronics that support the driving of the car. But one of the fantastic things available in this car is side slip, and that actually allows a bit of control in terms of the car can sense when you're starting to lose the back end, and it will keep the back end in a position that allows you to drift around corners. And more on that later. Otherwise, it really is just a fantastic place to be. If you're interested in cars, this is just a fantastic car to own. Now, I've cheated slightly. I've actually ordered carpets for the car. And my reasoning behind that is not because I don't like the effect that the sort of aluminium has on the inside of the car. I think it's very purposeful. But it's in terms of being able to keep it clean. Obviously, you can't take out the aluminium panels without actually using specific Allen screws to remove them. Easier if there's a carpet that can be removed, so I am having Alcantara carpets fitted. But other than that, and the Topaz film protection, this car has about everything you could possibly want. It's fully spec'd, and again we'll talk about that later, but it's fully spec'd and it's race ready. Now, I really look forward to being able to show what its capabilities are on a racetrack, because to be truthful, you will never explore the outer ends of its capability on the road. But again, it's an everyday car. I'm not sure I will use it every day, but it can be used every day. You have full sat-nav, you have Bluetooth, you have your full stereo system. So you could use this on a daily route. And having driven it, the ride is good enough with the electronic systems available today. Of course, it's much easier for them to be able to control the dampers. And Ferrari have a very unique oil system, oil damping system that they use to manage within split seconds, in tenths of seconds, the way that the car is whether or not each side is stiffened or softened to keep it level. Again, we'll talk about that in our technical spec for those of you who are interested. Okay, well, I think I'm probably going to sign off today, but it's a very, very excited Ian from SS Cars here, being able to talk to you about our latest acquisition. Just before we leave today, I just wanted to thank Dick Lovett for their immense hospitality and letting us have a look around, and you'll see on Instagram when we post the photos just how many beautiful cars they have. You know, I absolutely dread to think what the cost of the stock is here. I mean, it really is a boy's paradise. But I wanted to bring you over to the 430 Scuderia, which is the predecessor to the Speciale. And if you get the side profile and then just go over to the Speciale, and you can see that there is a very, very distinct family line there. And this Scuderia has the carbon brakes, as does the Speciale, and yeah, I just think it's a beautiful car. It's iconic Ferrari V8. And these cars will be the last in line, because my understanding is the new 488, which as you probably know is a twin turbo, the new 488 special version is going to be a twin turbo. So these are naturally aspirated cars. And I personally think they are utterly gorgeous. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe. Go onto the internet and look up the website. Ian from SS Cars saying goodbye.